Welcome to Sovereign Citizen Legal Encounters. All right, today we in Judge Crum's court where he has a defendant in there who's speaking sovereign language. He's also admitting that he has some problems. But let's piece it all together, and I would like to hear your thoughts on it in the comments. Let's go.
All right, this is the first appearance docket for Butler County, Kansas, August 11th, 2025. There at the jail, are you Keith Fuller?
Attorney though, sir. I don't have any money for an attorney or anything. So,
Or are you Keith Fuller?
yes, I'm Keith Fuller, Keith Edwards Fuller.
All right, we'll go on the record in the state of Kansas versus Keith E. Fuller, case number 25 TR 1904. The state appears by Amber Norris. Mr. Fuller appears in custody of the Butler County Jail. You're here for a first appearance, Mr. Fuller.
I'm here because I was picking up trash on the turnpike and the officer told me it was illegal, but I didn't see any signs on the interstate that said you couldn't pick up trash.
All right, well, the charge
Well, that's what I was doing, was just picking up trash.
If you'll just let me
Yes, sir.
speak, I'm going to tell you what the charge is. Is there not a long form charging document, Miss Norris, or are we just using the complaint?
Your Honor, it's just the ticket as far as I'm aware. And
Okay.
they Highway Patrol filed that electronically.
All right, it's a violation of KSA 8-1525, which is a regulation on use of controlled access highways and facilities. Essentially, that means you're not supposed to be walking along the interstate.
I didn't have my car got taken from me. I parked my car so I could go into the town. I was looking for mounds. I was doing mound research. That's the only reason why I went to El Dorado. I was walking because I didn't have a vehicle or an ID or anything like that, so I didn't know what else to do. And if I stayed there, I'll be on private property, and I didn't want to get arrested for a violation of private property. So that's the reason why I was walking the interstate, was because I was trying to get home. I was trying to get back to Illinois.
You were walking back to Illinois?
Yeah, I was walking back to Illinois. Okay, can I explain it to you, Judge?
Well, before you do that, I don't want you to say anything that might be seen as incriminating. So
Because I didn't get rid of my Miranda rights when I got arrested on the interstate. He just said, sit in the car and I'll take you to the jail. He didn't read me my Miranda rights or anything like that before I got into the car.
We do hear that statement a lot from sovereign citizens.
You can look at a security camera on a police uniform and you can see that.
I don't know if that'll come into play or not, but Miss Norris, this is a.
I didn't get arrested in Kansas. I got
Mr. Fuller, you're just going to need to let me speak, please. Quit talking over me. Is this an unclassified misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the maximum penalty is 30 days in jail and up to a $500 fine. So that's what you're charged with, Mr. Fuller. You have three options.
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt. It looks like it might actually be a Class B. Yes, Your Honor. It looks like Class B non-person. I apologize.
All right, what that means then, Mr. Fuller, is a Class B misdemeanor has a maximum penalty of 6 months in jail and up to a $1,000 fine.
That's the most expensive highway walk I've ever heard. You might as well get an Uber.
So that's what you're charged with. Your options are, if you wish to consult with an attorney, I'll set this over. I'll enter a not guilty plea. You could enter a guilty plea, which means you're admitting what you're charged with. You can enter a not guilty plea and we'd set it over for a further hearing, or you can enter a no contest plea. And a no contest plea, you're not admitting to the charge. You're just choosing not to contest it. So those are your options. How do you wish to proceed, Mr. Fuller?
I'm trying to understand. I'm a vet. I'm a military veteran. I have a Social Security disability. I have a lot of disabilities. So it's kind of hard for me to hear and everything like that. So I don't know what you mean.
Oh, he understands them until the charges come up.
All right, which part don't you understand?
What you said about the charges. I was just walking on the interstate because I didn't have a vehicle. The police dropped me off in Kansas. I was in Illinois, in Mattoon, walking my dog. I sat in the driveway because there was no sidewalk. My dog laid down, so I sat down with my dog because he had laid down because of the heat. So there was no sidewalk in Mattoon. I was walking on the road. I pulled into the driveway, my dog sat down, and then an officer came up. It was a chief of police or something like that. I don't know, he was wearing sunglasses. And then he grabs me and they take my dog and then they take me to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. I wake up in Missouri, Kansas. And then I get taken from Missouri, Kansas off the turnpike to Kansas, dropped off at a Walmart in Kansas and told not to leave that parking area. So that's the reason why I took off walking, because everybody was coming around me and stuff like that. They refused me to let me go in the store. I didn't have any money. I couldn't eat anything. So that's the reason why I took off walking to go back to Illinois, because I got dropped off in Kansas somehow by the police officer that picked me up alongside the interstate that I was picking up trash on in Missouri. He took me, it was at nighttime in Missouri. And then he picked me up and took me to Kansas and dropped me off. He was doing like 80.
Who did?
Some officer, I don't know his name. It was a black marked car, kind of looked like a military, but it didn't have any writing on it. So that's the reason why I didn't know. I didn't get read my Miranda rights that time either. He just picked me up off the turnpike in Missouri and turned around and dropped me off in Kansas.
An officer just dropped you off?
Yes, sir. An
in
officer
Missouri?
he just dropped me off in Kansas. He picked me up in Missouri on the turnpike right here on El Dorado, and then he turns around on when you get to that bridge, he cut through the little thing, and then he floored it 80, 90 miles an hour to Kansas. I got dropped off at the Walmart.
Where's the police report and the body cam footage when you need it?
Maybe
Ms.
2
Norris, do you have any information from the officer regarding this case?
Your Honor, it looks like all I have is a copy of the ticket, but it's not a general practice of law enforcement to move someone from one state to the next and just drop them off, as the defendant is claiming. So I don't have any information. And generally, the highway patrol that works in this area only works in this area, within Butler, Sedgwick County.
All right. How do you want to proceed, Mr. Fuller? You can enter a not guilty plea.
I'm not guilty, sir.
You're not guilty?
Not guilty. I didn't do anything wrong but walk around the interstate picking up trash.
He's continuously admitting to the charge.
All right.
And I was stranded at
guilty.
Walmart in Kansas. That's the reason why I had no other choice.
Okay, just Mr. Fuller, let me talk, please.
I'm trying to listen, sir.
I've entered a not guilty plea for you. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
I'm on Social Security disability. I don't have any money. I make $725 a month from the federal
All right.
government.
Do you wish to apply for a court-appointed attorney, or do you wish to represent yourself?
I get it. If I represent myself, then I know I'm going to prison. So that's the reason why I guess I could represent myself. I didn't do anything wrong.
If you want to consider having an attorney appointed, I'll appoint one for you.
It's hard because then I don't have any money to pay anybody. So that's the reason why I try to do everything myself, because I'm on Social Security disability. I'm a military veteran. I do what I can to help this country.
Okay.
So,
I understand that and I appreciate that, but I just need to determine if you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you, or if you want to represent yourself, or if you want to hire your own attorney.
I could represent myself. They just violated my constitutional rights, First Amendment right, the freedom of movement.
Oh, okay, there's more to the script.
And that's what they violated, because they
All
told me I
right.
couldn't
So,
talk.
Mr. Fuller, you understand that if you can't afford to hire an attorney, one would be appointed for you.
Yes, sir, I understand.
And you wish to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
So it went from not being able to afford an attorney to them giving him an attorney. He doesn't want that, and he doesn't understand the thing the judge is saying. I don't know where we're at in the hearing right now.
All right. Is there a waiver of counsel there, Deputy?
Yes, Your Honor, one moment.
What is that, the waiver of counsel?
It's a written waiver that basically states that you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you. And if you can't afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, or you can waive that right and represent yourself.
Okay. I didn't know if you had to write it down for me. This one here?
Yep.
Hold on, I got tics, so it's, I'm sorry, I got disabilities. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm trying the best I can.
All right, has the waiver been signed?
We're working on it, Your Honor.
Okay.
Here?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Need to sign it, Your Honor.
All right. All right, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set your case on Judge Lee's expedited misdemeanor control docket, which will be August 15th at 1:30. That's this Friday. We need to set a bond. Ms. Norris, what's the state's recommendation for bond?
Your Honor, based on his lack of contacts and his lack of knowing where he is and has been exactly, state would be asking for 2,000 cash or surety and that he not leave the state of Kansas.
All right, I'll set bond at $2,000 cash or surety. As a condition of bond, you're not to leave the state of Kansas. You're to appear in front of Judge Lee by Zoom, August 15th at 1:30 p.m.
Okay. No, I'm not making anything up, Judge. I was in Mattoon, Illinois, and then they moved me to Kansas City, Missouri, and then they took me to Kansas.
All right, if you do make bond, I'm going to order that you appear from the Butler County Judicial Center and use their Zoom equipment for this hearing Friday at 1:30.
Okay, so how do I do I need to get a hold of my wife to see if I can get her to post bail? And if that's the case, what happens if she does or if she can't?
Well, then you'll remain in custody until your next court appearance.
Yes, sir. So it's what else do I do? Do I call her to see if I can get the money to see if
You can do that. You can contact.
So will they
the
let me
consul.
out if she pays the bail?
If you post a bond, then you'll be released.
Okay, because all this stuff was in my car. I left my car in El Dorado on the side of the road because I was walking into town to look to see about the mounds. I left
Okay.
everything in my car. I thought it was in a safe, secure
What
location.
are the mounds?
The mounds are giant mounds that the Native Americans, supposedly the giants, had built to cover up cities, the 7 lost cities. And I started researching at the U of I because the U of I was at the mounds. They were the mound center. They were in charge of all the mounds. So I'd been doing research since the 80s. And I found out that Champaign has a mound, Chicago has a mound, Indiana has a mound, Pure Michigan has a mound. Missouri has a big mound. The lost city of gold is in Missouri.
Okay. All right. I get the point, Mr. Fuller. All right.
It's just research, that's all it
I
is.
understand. All right.
Typography and geography,
We'll be in recess. Have a good day.
How convenient of him not to understand anything to deal with the charges, but the whole entire conversation during the hearing, he understood every word of it. You be the judge of it. We're moving on from this case. In this next case is a sovereign citizen who has multiple charges, just have a whole lot of stuff going on. And we're just going to go in and let you check it out, and then you're going to see how everything unfolds. But he's definitely going to be speaking the language. Might not say it at first, but it's going to come out. Let's go.
Hi.
Still the same old charming self. Okay, good morning.
I'm really grateful to see you. It's been crazy. I've been looking forward to this moment.
I imagine you are. We've been tracking you as to where you've been, so we knew where you were in Jeffco for a while.
Great.
Yeah.
I was worried. I'm like, why am I not trying? Yeah. Anyways, health. Yeah, I'm grateful to see you guys.
Okay.
Is this a family reunion or a court hearing?
So
Ms. Colleen.
I was able to speak with Mr. Cardona. He is inclined to take the plea. However, before he does that, he wanted me to inquire, since he's been in custody since April 3rd, if he would be getting credit from that date.
So Ms. Talene, the credit that he would get would be for the time that he's been in custody in Boulder, not for the time he's been in Jeffco.
And that's only for a day. I think he's only been here for a day.
So in other words, no.
Okay.
No dice.
So then I think he's probably not going to end up taking that deal. I mean, I will say he still has some other stuff that he's got to figure out. So
I'm time served on the other stuff because it's since they entered a writ on April 10th. So I'm time served on that. And I'd be willing to like negotiate, talk like, look, I've been through so much. My mom is stealing my fucking dog,
Is he really in custody or that uniform is just a joke?
which you guys all
Careful with the language. Careful with the
yeah.
language.
You all know that she's my, and so I had to take a plea, and I'm just so done with all of it. I'm ready to take a plea, whatever. I'm over it. I've just done 122 days of my life for something that I did not do. And so if you guys could help me to help you to help us, I'm definitely down. I'm just not going to sit in here for 45 more days for mostly garbage charges. Like prohibited item. Like, no. I'll bail out and we'll go to trial if we have to, but I would much rather not have to have loose ends, and I would much rather deal with it than have to continue prolonging it. So if we can come to an agreement that's not
So
gonna-
let me ask.
I can't be part of that discussion. So let's
Yeah,
pause
I was
for a
gonna say,
moment.
so let me ask you this, Julio. What if we brought you back next Wednesday and I could speak with Miss Keller about some different options for you?
that would be great. If in the meantime, as I said, I'm time served on my other ones, and so
I mean,
I'll
you'd be able to bond out still. If you can post your bonds, you'd be able to bond out. But
Well, according to the jail, there's a $50 cash only bond. And since like I was trying to come to court last time, I got arrested 2 days after you signed the release or PR bond on Sunday, the 28th. I would have been here, but I got arrested. So if you would be willing to reinstate that PR bond on that, I'd be grateful. I'm still held on a $2,000 bond until I go to court, but I don't want to be stuck in here. If I post a $2,000 one, which I guess, right, if I post a $2,000 one, I don't want to be held here on a $50 more thing. So if you would be willing to redo what you did on Sunday, March 28th by signing a PR bail and reissuing that, I'd be grateful. I would have been there, but I was in jail and I couldn't be there. If you'd be willing to do that, I'd be grateful. If not, I can probably try to come up with a $50 bond that it's currently $50 cash only.
I'm confused. Who's the attorney in this case?
Is that what they're telling you at the jail? Is that that's the only cash bond that you have to post? The others are PR bonds?
No. So originally when I first got here, before I got here, I was told I had 4 $200 cash or surety bails, meaning the 10 cent, like basically $80. But then I got here and they're now telling me that there's a $150 cash only for my municipal cases, but no PR bonds. So I basically have to post a $2,000 cash or surety bail and then a $50 cash only bail. I do have my family working on the cash or surety $2,000 bail. But that apparently they didn't do the 10% option or whatever, so they can't just go to touchpaydirect.com and do it like they usually would. My mom's obviously doing the other thing, so the only person I have that is family to help is over 10 hours away and not able to be here. So they're trying to do it online and trying to facilitate to that. But even once they accomplish that, then I'd still be held here on the $50 cash only bail until I could come up with that. It's like, so if just originally on March 26th of this year, I took a plea bargain and then I was still held here to come to your court. And then on Sunday, the 28th, I'm assuming it was you, signed the approval for a PR bail in my municipal cases. And I was released on Sunday, the 28th, and I was arrested again on the 3rd. So it wasn't that I was trying, when I'm in cuffs, I can't show up. You know what I mean? I did have my family text Ashley, try to reach out to Ashley and everybody to try to communicate so that you would be aware that I wasn't trying to skip out on you. And that it's been a crazy, crazy few months.
Okay, so let me just have you pause for just a moment, Mr. Cardona, because what Fernanda has been doing while you were speaking was getting me copies of the warrants and the bond amounts that are on those warrants from our court. And so I'm going to share that, what I have. And Fernanda, you can jump in after I've done this. But what I am seeing is in case number 2024-5724, there's a $200 cash bond. In case number 2024-5730, there is a $200 cash bond. In case number 2024-5633, there is a $200 cash bond. And in case number 2023-4906, there is a $200 cash bond. Now, I don't know, I would have to do a little bit more digging because I'm just looking at the face of these bonds. They don't show the charges, so I'd have to go into each one to see if they were eligible for PR. I know that 2023-4906 is not eligible for a PR bond. That's one of the $200 cash bonds. And at this juncture, not today, I'm not willing to convert those to PR bonds. They would maintain those. That one is a cash bond. By statute, there are some that have to be converted to PR bonds when a defendant requests that. So I will be looking at each of those to make sure that I'm complying with the statute, because what defendant has done now is made a formal request for a PR bond. But I know 2023-4906 has a misdemeanor state counterpart, and that one would remain. So we can do this now, or what we can do is hold off, like Ms. Talene was saying, and come back on Wednesday. And in the
then
meantime,
I might be able to talk to Miss Keller and see if we could work out some disposition. I don't know. We may or may not, and then we could deal with the bonds as well. But
Okay. Even if we could get them to convert it to the cash or surety 10% thing, I'd be willing to post a bond. I have no problem trying to
so
post
maybe that's what you're thinking, because our cash bonds also come with an alternative of a surety bond. The surety bond is 500. So maybe what you're thinking is that you have to pay 50 to a
50,
surety,
yeah.
and then that's your 10%. But
yeah.
our cash bond right now is 200. A surety bond would be 500 on that case. So that's why you might be thinking all you have to do is come up with 50 to get a surety to do it. But that's not something that I have control over. That's obviously between you and a surety, a bonds person. So
whatever happened to the 10% thing that you guys used to do, to where my dad could just jump on the...
That's not us. That's what I'm saying. That's something that's done with a bonds person. And there may be something where there's an online process. Ms. Talene may know more about that than I do. I've never interacted with the online bond posting process with a surety, but that's a separate person who's doing that, or a company that's giving you, posting the bond on your behalf based on your dad or you giving them a certain percentage of the amount that's owed, and then them being responsible for the rest. That's how the surety bond works. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Cardona?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because every other time I've bonded out on every single case you're talking about right now, including the one that you say is not PRable, and I've been released on that charge on PR several times. So I'm just confused as to why it's suddenly different.
Well, right now you have a cash bond that I've imposed, and it's because there's been failures to appear. Obviously, that's why I've made it a cash bond and am not converting it to a PR bond. I am going to follow the state law with respect to the ones that you're entitled to have PR bonds, and some charges you are automatic PR bonds. The more serious ones are not. The ones that are less serious, like you mentioned, a tent or a camping charge, those are automatically eligible for PR bond. That's probably why. What you remember most is most of your cases have been eligible for PR bonds, because they were automatically eligible for some.
So I mean, like, you released me on those charges, even the ones that you say. And again, it wasn't that I didn't appear, it's that I was being held against my will in another county's jail. So if you could reconsider that, I'd be grateful, because
I'm not going to reconsider it today, because I don't think any party has the opportunity to go through all of the circumstances of each of these. And given that Ms. Talene is in the mindset to see you Wednesday, and that you have another case that's pending with the bond for this state, let's reset your case. I'm happy to reset it. And we could even do Monday if you think that's better, Ms. Talene.
Well, the only reason that I was asking for not Monday is just because it's Friday and I'm actually getting on an airplane in a couple of hours. Okay. So, I mean, I'm doing court on Monday, but I'm just saying I don't know if I'm going to have time to actually talk with Miss Keller and look up all the bonds and all of that information by Monday. So that's why I was asking for Wednesday.
if everybody wants to remain on, I'll pause and I'll look through every single one of these cases to see which ones are eligible, but it may take me quite a bit of time to do that.
I would
Your
be
Honor.
grateful, but
I mean, I guess we could bring it back on Monday and I can see what I can do by then. And if I don't have a chance to talk to Miss Keller, it is what it is. Or you can do it now. I mean, either way, I'll defer to the court.
All right, let me just, someone was trying to speak. Who was that? Was it Ms. Keller or Ms. Fernanda?
Excuse me, Your Honor, it was me, Ms. Bittencourt. Mr. Cardona does have a court appearance with Boulder County on the 13th of August, so I believe he's still being held until then.
right, but I have the bail for that. I'm gonna post bail on that, and or also that court date on the 13th. I'm already time served, already, according to the
So
deal that they're gonna do on the
Let's
13th.
pause and then I'm gonna look through the files, see what I have here. And then it may take
Thank
me a few
you.
minutes because I got to look through each one of them and see which ones are automatic PR bonds and then which ones are not.
I know there's a lot. Thank you very much for working with me, guys.
Okay, I'm going off camera for a moment.
I don't know if everybody can still hear me or not, but one thing that I know that I've become aware of that I wasn't prior is 90% of these charges are what's called administrative legislative statutes, which is known as color of the law, and that is illegal to practice. And if it continues forward, I will be giving statutory official notice to everybody of the 1983 federal lawsuit that I will be bringing into the court. If this court does continue forward under administrative legislative statutes without an verified injured party and under their assumed jurisdiction, I will be suing. And I will give everybody statutory notice of intent to sue both individually and to official capacity as soon as I get out. Or we could just settle it. Seems like it'd be a lot easier for everybody. There must be a verified injured party, and you must prove your jurisdictional means to do these things, none of which have occurred. I am hereby asserting my rights to those things, assuming that everybody can hear me. It's being recorded, so it's on record regardless.
I know you heard the term smile in your face and go behind your back. You know what it really says.
Yeah, it's still going. I'm still waiting. I'll let you know when I'm done. Hey.
Okay, we can go back on the record. And I did hear what defendant had to say with respect to his statutory rights that he believes he has.
Got him.
I'm not going to address those issues with him. That's certainly his right, and he can consult with his own attorney as to how he wants to proceed with respect to that. I'm just here to at this point to address the request for PR bonds. There are many cases for which we have not issued warrants at all.
Okay.
And then there are 5 cases for which warrants were issued, 4 of which were cleared by the Jefferson County Jail. 1 for whatever reason hasn't yet been cleared, but it will be cleared. Of those 5 cases, case number 2023-4906 is the most serious. It's a threatening bodily injury charge. That has a $200 cash bond or a $500 surety bond currently authorized. It does have a state counterpart. I did note that the defendant had failed to appear more than once. Many times he would call after court and get his case rescheduled, but there were 2 separate failures to appear in that particular case. And one, the most recent, was in March 11th of 2025. And then ultimately we allowed PR bonds on those, I believe. But in this case, now that there are cash or surety bonds in place, I'm going to maintain that cash or surety bond on case number 2023-4906. Case number 2024-5724 is an obstructing government operations charge. There's a prohibited items. That's PR bond, but the obstructive government operations is not a mandatory PR bond because it does have a misdemeanor state counterpart. That will remain at a $200 cash bond or a $500 cash or surety bond. Case number 2024-5633. This is an improper care of animals charge, which does have a misdemeanor state counterpart. That will remain at a $200 cash or $500 surety bond. Case number 2024-5730 is an obstructing government operations charge. That will does have a misdemeanor state counterpart. That will remain a $200 cash bond or $500 surety bond. And then case number 2023-5211 is an obstructing government operations charge, which is has a misdemeanor state counterpart. That will remain as a $200 cash bond or $500 surety bond. All the other cases we have not issued warrants for, so that I'm not issuing warrants on those at all. If in fact you are released from custody on posting bonds, those cases will remain active and you can come to court on those. But I'm not going to issue warrants because I don't need to unnecessarily burden the system with warrants.
Just as these ones currently are, because I was in custody when you issued the warrants.
That's not actually true. You were not in custody on March 11th. I issued those warrants, those cash or surety bond warrants on March 11th.
Then why would you
release
release me on March
You
28th?
were ultimately released I think you were taken, not released, but taken to Jefferson County.
No, I was released.
To address.
I was released.
Okay, then if you were released, then you were released on some kind of bond that you
I was
posted,
released
right?
on a PR bail on these charges, which is why I was asking you to please redo that, because the only reason I didn't show up was because I got arrested by Glenwood Springs or Garfield County and then transported to Jefferson County. It seems
pausing for a moment.
I was in custody by another jail after being released on PR bond on all these same ones. And
I hear what you are arguing. It is not. It's incumbent on the defendant to appear in court on their court date. There can be all kinds of explanations for why someone doesn't appear, but it's not the court's responsibility to simply say, well, because you got arrested by another jurisdiction, you're exempt from having to appear in our court. You had an obligation to appear and you did not appear.
Dynamics have definitely shifted in this hearing.
I tried to, they wouldn't bring me. There's nothing I can do about that.
Right. Well, right now, I'm maintaining those cash bonds in place. There won't be any other warrants issued on the other cases.
Okay, well, I'm going to go, and I don't mean to interrupt you, sir, but I have to. I'm going to just go ahead and say right now here on record, I'm appearing especially, not generally, and without a verified injured party and without proof of your assumed jurisdiction under administrative legislative statutes and or color of the law, you are violating my constitutional rights according to 42 USC 1983. And if you do not dismiss this case and you continue forward, I will be suing all of you in individual and official capacity for violation and knowingly depriving me of my constitutional rights under the color of the law.
Has he been to the Sovereign Citizen Institute? I never heard the script ran off like that.
Okay.
If you want to settle it, I'm down to settle it. I'm not.
You can't talk to me about settlement with me present. You can talk to the prosecutor with your lawyer present for that, but I can't negotiate with you because I'm not on the other side of the case. That's between you and the prosecution.
You are the judge, though, and you do have the jurisdictional ability and legislative power to dismiss this before getting sued under 42 USC 1983, which is
I'm not dismissing it, nor do I believe I actually have the authority to dismiss the case where there's probable cause for the charge.
All right.
So the authority to request dismissal comes from the prosecutor's office. Now, let's talk about procedural posture where we're at today. So, Ms. Talene, do you want to come back on Monday or do you want to come back on Wednesday? We can do it either way. It's up to you.
Mr. Cardona, what do you want to do?
I mean, Monday would obviously be the best. I'm also going to contact my other attorney, which is Catherine Spangler, to get the other court date moved up. I'm time served on the other one. I would be time served on this, or you guys can all get sued. I don't really care. But I would prefer Monday. That would be the best. But I also want to give you time, and I'm speaking like me. I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I don't care. I've been getting fucked from I've been getting screwed from every angle without just cause. I've learned a lot of my rights, and I will be exercising them. But again, I would much rather not deal with the fight just as I know you would like to not deal with the fight.
That reverse psychology tactic is not going to work.
If we could please come to some form of agreement of time served for I've been in jail for 122 days for something I didn't do. Forced
I'm
into
going
a
to
plea
pause
bargain.
for now. I'm going to pause now because I think you're having discussions I don't want to hear because I'm not legally allowed to hear them. So
If
we'll reset. Let's reset for Monday.
Yeah, we can reset for Monday, and if I can't do anything on Monday, we'll just reset you again.
Right. So another question I have. So you said they're $500 cash, or if it's a surety, it's $500, right?
That's right.
And so then somebody has to pay a bondsman 10% of that?
That's up to the bonds person. I can't speak for them, but a lot of times they will allow, less than the full amount in order to be responsible for the bond. But that's not something I can commit to.
How many of them? There's 5 of them, or
yes.
Okay. And what were you about to say, Ashley? Sorry.
Yes. Usually, bondsmen charge 10% of what the bond is.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that again, though, that's not something I can help you with because I'm your attorney. So you got to go through a bondsman.
Right. I'm just trying to make sure I know it. Because the jail here, if I posted my $2,000 one and I gave them $50 cash, they would be releasing me. So I'm just letting everybody know that.
Then talk to the jail about that. And if that's what they, if that's satisfies your bond, then, talk to the jail.
Okay, yeah, I just had it written.
Yeah,
I just had it written down about an hour ago. So I just want to make sure that if I go pay these things, that I'm not right. So I'm just trying to work with everybody and make a winning solution for everybody. All right.
Well, like I said, talk to the jail. They'll talk to you about how they could potentially get you bonded out. So okay.
And let me just say that one of these bonds, 235211, is a $50 cash bond. So 4 of them are a $300 surety bond. So that one has a different amount on it than the other 4. The other 4 are $200 cash. This one's $50.
Okay. So yeah,
the jail has all of these bonds, so they know what the warrants are and what the bond amounts are. Whatever they determine for you to post to be released, they will do that and accept the payments from you as they deem appropriate, given the documentation that we've given to them.
According to them, less than an hour ago, those 4 $200 ones.
So just go talk to the jail about it then and see what you can do because they have
shut up, stop.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no, I'm just saying they have the information. There's nothing else that Judge Kahn can do for you. Now it seems like it's going to be between you and the jail and potentially a bondsman.
That's right. Okay. Right. We'll see you.
And we'll see you on Monday. Yeah.
What time do you guys know?
10:30.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. And
see you Monday.
Mia, please work with. Look,
I'll
lady,
talk to
I'm
Ms.
not
Keller,
about.
Okay, I'll talk
I'm
to Ms.
done
Keller
resisting.
about it.
Another thing I wanted to say is I've been a difficult fucking prick a little bit in the past. I was going through a lot, and I'm please work with me. And
I will speak with Ms. Keller. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Let the officer know that we're ready to go.
Bye, Con.
All right. Take care.
You too.
This was definitely an interesting case, and I never seen a sovereign citizen run the script that fluently without any paperwork or anything in front of him. From what I saw, it looked like he was looking directly in the camera and he told them exactly what he wanted to do. He was playing tricks, trying to be friendly, making them all laugh, but the whole time in the background, he wants to sue them all, even though it's not going to work. So I hope you enjoyed both videos, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And don't forget, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. See ya.